H1z1 versus PUBG, the battle of Battle Royale. If it's a fairly cheap multiplayer Battle Royale game that will keep you on the edge of your seat and wanting more, then look no further, because upon the horizon is two amazing games. First up is H1z1. H1z1 is a Battle Royale game with a lot to offer. Given the fact that it is an older game, it still fares well against PUBG and is still getting new players today. Developed by Daybreak Games in 2016, it managed to break records with the overwhelming love for the game. Many people flooded at H1z1 because it was the newest and best game on the market as far as Battle Royales are concerned. It was relatively cheap, only costing $20 and it was exciting but a little bug-riddled, and it had the best graphics at the time, which made it very popular. The aim of the game is to land, collect resources such as bag, guns and armor, and kill. Boom! Then, in March 2017, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, or PUBG, arrived. And do you remember all of those records I said H1z1 broke? Well, PUBG pretty much broke all of them. Developed by Bluehole Studios and made with a consultant from H1z1's dev team, it smashed up the scene with an amazing variety of guns and attachments to use. It blew up and is still first on the top sellers list for action and massively multiplayer on Steam. Its new graphics and landing from moving planes, so you can choose where you're going, made it super fun, and mix that with snipers and ARs and shotguns with up to a 15 times scope, made it even better, being able to see further distance than in H1z1. Made long range combat so much easier and more even between skills. The aim is the same as H1z1, land, loot, kill, but now there's an aspect of trying to find your favourite gun. It was pretty bug ridden when it was released and they're still working out the kinks, but it is definitely easily playable with maybe a glitch every 20 to 50 rounds, which is pretty good for a game only released in March, but this game cost $30. Now physics is hard for both games, but again, let's start with H1z1. H1z1 jumping and general moving mechanics are not too bad, but the biggest problem is jumping and strafing. Jumping I find a bit inconsistent, but the main problem is the character can jump way too high and far. He can standing still jump almost 2 meters high, which is really unrealistic, and about 1.5 meters forward, making it really hard for small jumps. One thing I will say is to get away and hide behind something is much easier in H1z1, but strafing left to right is annoyingly slow. PUBG is on the other end of the scale. Sometimes I rage at this game, at how annoying jumping mechanics are, and in an attempt to be more realistic, to make a simple jump you need a run up. And the character can barely jump forwards without a run up. And without a run up, your player can only jump like 30 meters forward, making it really hard to get out of situations where you are getting shot, and sometimes there is a wall at your knees and you still can't jump high enough to get over. But with a run up, jumping is fine and works fairly well, and strafing is definitely easy. Now onto the graphics. Let's start with H1z1. The graphics are pretty good, but they are a bit bland and washed out. The contrast and vibrance ratios could be worked on a little bit, and it does lack some nice colour. It does use a fair bit of CPU usage. On a quad-core processor, uses about 40%, but if your CPU is good enough, it should be fine. Minimum requirements for 1080p gaming are at least a dual-core CPU, a 1GB GPU or graphics card, 20GB of hard drive storage, and 8GB of DDR3 to DDR4 RAM. And that's about it. Anything else might help performance, but is not needed. And it is optimized, and is very optimized, so running it is not too much of a problem. So on the Rex 2895 meter of how much you can run a game, it gets a solid thumbs up. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, this game is so optimized that even Rex can run it. PUBG is not going to be as strong in this category. It's pretty good overall graphics, but definitely there is a lack in vibrance. But the graphics are a bit better than H1z1, but at the cost of run ability. You'll need a pretty good PC to run the minimum requirements for 1080p gaming. You'll need about a quad-core CPU, a 2GB GPU, but if you can, try to get a 4GB, 20GB of hard drive storage, 8GB of DDR3 to DDR4 RAM, and an SSD would be helpful for this game. In conclusion, these Battle Royale games are very similar, but also different. If your PC isn't very good, Rex 295, then H1 would probably be the best choice. With optimized games and low requirements, and it is cheaper, but a trade-off for the variety in PUBG. If you have good enough hardware in your PC and you can run PUBG, then PUBG is an amazing choice. Amazing variety and more players, so it's much easier to get into games. The trade-off with this game though is it costs more and you need better hardware. It's your choice, but if you have enough, PUBG is a very good game and I would definitely recommend trying it out at least. Here's some mad wins that haven't been in the video from your boy. First again. Beautiful. Legit. Another first. Oh! Headshot. Shoot like bro, yo, nice job. You did it. Oh, cool, so cool. Click right here to check out some videos that you might want to watch, and also click here to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you really liked it and you want to see more of me, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. See ya.